Mortal Kombat 2 might be one of the closest adaptations we've ever had of the game to the big screen, and it's also an excellent story for Johnny Cage. So without further ado, it's showtime. Welcome to the Caffeinated Critic. Mortal Kombat 2 brings us closer to the tournament with a bigger roster of characters and more carnage than the first film. I saw this in IMAX, and I'll say right now, this film is very loud, bombastic, and exciting. And it is absolutely built for the theatrical experience. So this is a fun time. It is not perfect, but it has some really interesting characters, some really exciting action sequences, and a lot of fun character moments. In addition, it delivers some of the best action I've seen in a blockbuster in recent memory. So let's start going into what works. Biggest strength of this film is easily the fighting. These fight scenes are incredible. Every character feels distinct in how they move, attack, and defend. The choreography has speed, brutality, and actual weight behind the moves and actions that the characters do. Every single punch feels painful. In addition, every fatality feels earned and harkens back to the games that we know and love. There are moments that genuinely made the audience gasp out loud because of how awesome they were. And let's talk about Shao Kahn. Absolutely terrifying. This movie treats him like a real threat from the beginning to the end. And the opening fight sequence establishes that he's not afraid to kill anyone and use any means necessary. He's not just some generic CGI villain that barks around orders. No, this guy you're actually afraid of. I would say he is the best live-action version of that character that we have ever gotten. I also really liked the tone here. This film knows how ridiculous Mortal Kombat can become, yet it also maintains a brutal energy and a really tense tone. It balances humor and brutality surprisingly well. In addition, some of the pop culture jokes really landed here, especially when delivered by Johnny Cage. The audience in my theater was laughing consistently throughout this, which is kind of surprising since this is supposed to be a brutal action film. And speaking of Johnny Cage, I feel like a lot of his moments were the best parts of the movie. They give him a solid coming-of-age arc despite a lot of his comic relief. He starts off arrogant and self-centered, and over time he becomes a leader and someone that you actually care about. And Karl Urban's performance really sells that evolution. The character of Katana also gets a surprisingly emotional storyline. I really enjoyed how we got to watch her evolve from someone who is more quiet and reserved to someone who is a powerful leader and could lead several of our characters. The past with her family is also incredibly impactful. There's actual emotional conflict there that made the audience feel things, and it worked for me. This movie also deserves credit for how it handles several of the redemption arcs. Certain characters that we know as villains have moments where they really turn around and help our heroes out. Visually, the film looks great too. The CGI does not look too messy, and oftentimes I thought it looked kind of realistic. And in IMAX, the sound design absolutely slaps. It is fantastic. The bass during some of these fighting sequences was shaking my seat in the theater. And without spoiling anything, the ending definitely sets up an interesting premise for a sequel. Now let's go into what doesn't work here. And the biggest issue here is the plot. It is razor thin, and it all revolves around a MacGuffin that our characters are trying to obtain throughout the storyline. The movie basically exists just to push characters from one fight scene to another fight scene, which is okay. Johnny Cage's coming-of-age arc also feels a little too easy because he has a martial arts background, and he tends to know a lot more of the combat than you would think when he first starts. Raiden also gets sidelined halfway through the film too, which was disappointing for me because Raiden is one of my favorite characters. And unfortunately, some of the other characters get completely wasted, like Shang Tsung, who is given nothing to do throughout this film. And the character of Baraka gets treated like a joke throughout the film, which kind of works for some laughs, but I mean, Baraka's a cool character. And I didn't really like what they did with Quan Chi here either. He really is just a kind of menacing sorcerer who sits in a corner and broods. So if you're a longtime Mortal Kombat fan, this film is definitely for you. It fully embraces the violence, the insanity, the fan service, and fully delivers on what you would want from a Mortal Kombat film. But if you're looking for more of a nuanced story with layered writing, which you don't often see in these fight movies, then this one will not work. So compared to the original 2021 Mortal Kombat film, this film feels way more confident and driven to make its audience happy. There's bigger action, better action sequences, and I would say a better story with our lead character of Johnny Cage. So Mortal Kombat 2 is messy, over the top, and doesn't always work, but when it does, it really pleases the audience, and makes a great theatrical experience. The action alone makes it worth the price of admission. On the caffeinated scale, I will give Mortal Kombat 2 an average cup of joe. If the next sequel tightens the writing while also maintaining this quality of action, I could see it being a really special film. But those are my thoughts on Mortal Kombat 2. Please let me know if you are excited for this sequel in the comment section down below and who your favorite Mortal Kombat character is. And if you enjoyed this review, feel free to like, subscribe, and I'll continue to keep brewing new reviews for you very soon. See you next time.